Paul, you're addicted to ice cream. That's what I found out about you. You bike a lot so you can eat ice cream.
Oh man, did I ever bike a lot to eat ice cream yesterday?
Well, what do you think? You like the fudgesicle?
Well, this is like my 12th one today, so go figure. What up, peeps, and welcome to the 6th episode of the Joey Podcast, the mountain bike podcast with one guy who just discovered dirt for the first time, one guy who is starting to shave his legs a little too often now, and one guy who said he was going to watch a downhill World Cup race last week. Josh, did you watch a downhill World Cup race last week?
No, I Googled it and I saw spandex, so I clicked away.
What? What is Google auto-completing for you to get to that?
Anyway. No, I didn't. I tried actually, but I couldn't find it on my phone because you have to go through Red Bull, UCI, whatever, and it makes it difficult on a phone. Has Red Bull heard of YouTube? Probably not.
Yeah, they do. They have a massive YouTube channel, probably bigger than all of our channels.
Except they don't post their own races on it. Anyway.
No. So we are certainly professional over here. We are certainly not the first, nor will we be the last group of people to make a podcast, but this is our mountain bike podcast where we talk about everything else. No, I will not read that. We have a doc. Oh, that's great. Now I can't even explain it. Whatever. This is our mountain bike podcast where we talk about everything about mountain biking apart from head angles and stroke lengths. Yeah, that was definitely placed in there to see who would bite on the terrible joke, and Sheyn was straight in there. And that is who we have on the show. We have Sheyn. This is Sheyn. Otherwise known as Sheyn in real life. And Joshua.
29ers for life.
Wow. Just
drop it.
Normal voice. Voice. And me, Paulie Wally, or Paul, just Paulie Wally is what most people actually call me.
The fresh dad, right? Did you join the club?
Oh, wow. Paul, you're a dad? I had no idea.
Not in the space of the last week, that's for sure.
At least not that Paul knows about yet. Surprise! This is an intervention, Paul. You're a father.
Wait, an intervention? That doesn't make sense. So, like, you're intervening me to not be a father? Wait, why am I not? Look,
stop spreading your seed so much. You're a father to multiple children, and you had no idea.
You had an Easter egg in your last video at the very end. Daddy, you just finished your race.
Oh, why did people see that?
Daddy.
I was like, oh, am I allowed to do this? Will something bad happen? But what it did tell me is people that watched it all the way to the end of the video. That's what it did.
Yep.
Okay, so first segment, questions and comments. Didn't get as many questions and comments from last week. Who forgot to share the podcast out of the three of us?
We're all looking at Josh.
Every week.
No, I shared it.
Also, me. I forgot to share it until just earlier on today. So
what?
So
classy call out and then totally like self-admitting. No, I didn't do anything. I'm
an open book here. Also filling in for Sheyn for eating because it doesn't look like Shane's got anything to eat. But
don't even.
You know, my wife totally said, I'm going to go to the grocery store and get you just a bunch of king crab and we can mukbang this whole thing.
Mukbang, not mukbang.
Mukbang, whatever
what's a mukbang? Is that like a bong that you smoke weed through that has milk in it?
I'm in Colorado, man. Anything's possible.
Yeah. And I'm in Washington. Paul's in BC. I mean, we could call this a whole different podcast and get a whole different viewership.
We call it the Mountain Bike 420 podcast. I'll rebrand if that's what we get to call it.
Why is it called 420? That's the day we met, April 20th.
Yeah. What other reference could it possibly be?
Exactly.
One of us from Colorado, BC, Washington. Like, I don't get it. Okay, but the mediocre mountain biker did say that he wants to see or hear Sheyn eat something far messier. Oh my God, no.
Don't worry, everybody. Sheyn did not just eat the microphone. He just engulfed what looked like either a small animal or a watermelon.
Was that? Wait, no, it was a watermelon. I was like, wow, did you actually get a rib? Because that's what he wanted. That's what MMB wanted. No.
Watermelon ribs.
Watermelon ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Well played, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to a store near you.
And Josh Brennan told us that he also took his friend mountain biking for the first time, which was one of the topics that we discussed in last week's episode. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the ride, everyone on the mountain knew who this guy was, because like everyone was talking about how much this guy was crashing. And I've been there and like had that happen, where you go for a ride and then you speak to one person like, hey, did you hear about this guy? It's like, yep, totally. And then everyone just starts talking about it.
Yeah, especially at Galbraith, which is like, it could be a steep learning curve depending on where you start. Like that news would spread. That's good.
Yeah, I've heard, like, I've known certain people and I know exactly the type of people they are. And I heard this, like, we hear this scream. We were on a Squamish social. So like Mountain Bike Club gets everyone out all together. And there were two rides kind of running parallelish to each other. And we heard this scream from the other ride. And I went, I know exactly who that is that's crashed. And sure enough, it was that person. And they turn up to the social, like completely covered in blood and drinking and thinking they were really cool. Whereas everyone else is actually like, shouldn't you go to the hospital? Like, it seems like you've landed on your face.
Yeah, you're seriously injured. Like, you can't even say your own name. Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, in the YouTube realm, you're like the boy who cried wolf. Like every time you're behind me, I hear, and I think, like for the first times, I would stop and like think someone fell. I'm like, are you okay? And then I learned, no, that's just Paul.
I will verify that. You know, it's funny too, because we all make a bunch of noises to like detract bears so they know we're coming.
Well, that's why.
But it's usually like yeah, or you, or woohoo. But I don't know, Paul, you got to work on your grunts.
I just go, bah! Like, because something probably almost has gone wrong. That's the other thing.
Around every corner.
Your suspension.
Like it happened yesterday when I went riding. Like I almost lose my front wheel a ton because it's so dusty at the moment. And then people would stop in front and be like, oh no, I just almost crashed. I didn't actually crash. Don't worry about it. It's just the same reaction, the same level of reaction. Okay, so where did we ride our bikes? Oh my God, I'm burping popsicle. Where did we ride our bikes this week, guys?
Nice job. Nice recovery, Paul. You sounded a lot more manly the second time.
Professional over here.
I only got out for, I think I got two rides. I think the first ride was with Mo and Hannah Awesome. Did I talk about this last week?
You said you were going to, I think.
No, was that the shuttle? No.
Oh, no, I did not talk about this. No, this is
new story.
I totally forgot. So Mo texted me, Josh, can I borrow your hardtail?
You did say this.
We heard that.
You did, yeah.
But I didn't talk about the ride I went with them. So Mo asked me to, and then like he like waited and waited. Finally, he picked it up, and I was like, okay, let's go for a ride tomorrow. And him and Hannah are like, okay, let's do it. So we went for a ride. And Mo was on my size medium hardtail, and literally we're like, when's the last time you ridden?
Hold on, for context, for those that might not know, Mo is what, 6 foot something?
He's like 6'2".
Okay, yeah.
So he should definitely be on a large. I think Mo prefers a bigger bike, so he rides extra larges. So he's on my medium hardtail, and we're like, when's the last time you ridden a hardtail? And he's like, I literally can't remember. And I think Mo did what like most people do, is like he like had his like GoPro ready to go. Him and Hannah were going to record a ride. And, you know, everyone's like, I see Josh ride hardtails, or, you know, Sheyn used to ride a hardtail. Paul, he doesn't need more excuses. And so they've seen it. And so first off, we're climbing, and Mo is like, Mo's a really good climber, but he was like dying. He's like, what gearing is this? I'm like, well, I have a 32 chainring up front and then only a 42, which is not Eagle. I'm trying not to do gear talk. And he's like, what the heck? And like, he was dead. And it's a chromoly steel bike. So he was dead at the top. Then we go to descend, and Mo's like,
how heavy is it though? Can't be that much heavier.
It's heavier than my full suspension bike.
Okay. Well,
yeah. What is like 3 pounds make that much of a difference for Mo?
Yeah. As a percentage of the whole system.
Yeah.
Including 300 pound of Mo.
Yeah. And
that's what I mean. Yeah. Like the whole. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a small bike. But so we got up to the top. started descending, and Mo was like, I'm going last. And I was like, come on, Mo, like go in front of us. He's like, no, seriously, I'm going last. And so literally after like 2 turns in, Mo's eyes are huge. He's like, I am not a hardtail person. And the whole rest of the ride, like Mo he took his sweet time, and literally the whole way down, you could just see like reality hit so hard that riding a hardtail it's just different, right? Like if you haven't done it for a while, it takes a while to get used to. So
I tried to have one. I tried to have a hardtail and be cool, but I just couldn't figure it out.
Do you think it's best to like start off on a hardtail to teach you how to ride?
Who, me? Absolutely, I think so.
That's how I did it.
I don't think so, because hardtails are so completely different. So this is not going to be great for audio people, but like full suspension bikes, they go kind of up and down, whereas a hardtail it's around one thing. So it's completely different.
Well, I would not disagree with that statement, but what I would disagree on is that I think a hardtail, you have to pick better lines. It's more direct feel of the ground. And so I feel like riding a hardtail, I don't think people would disagree, takes a lot more skill and thinking, and you feel directly if you take a bad line. And so I think that makes you a better rider. And everyone I met who rides hardtails, the second they got on a full suspension bike, it's just like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is way easier. Yeah, this totally makes sense.
So shouldn't people kind of have a full suspension bike, then have a better time, and then they're more likely to carry on mountain biking? That's my perspective.
It depends. And I would say hardtails are less expensive. They are more readily available, and you can still have a great time. It's not like you have a terrible time on a hardtail.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's a lot better on a full suspension bike. So anyway,
how did Mo's ride finish?
Well, it finished with me going, Mo, like, do you not want to borrow my hardtail anymore? And he's like, no. Well, I'll ride on gravel. Like, it'll be fine. And so I'm really curious if he's ridden it anymore. I don't think I'm going to see it in a video. I'm dreaming that I do. I told him that he had to, name drop me, or else the sponsorship was going to be dropped. So, yeah. No, but that was like a ride where somebody was like, I'm a good rider, because Mo's a good rider. Like, he rides a lot. He's like, I'm gonna be no problems on this hardtail, but it was tough for him. So yeah, I rode that, and then I did some pre-riding on Chuckanuts here in Bellingham. That's where our enduro is coming up that I signed up for.
Oh, the big one. The big one.
I don't know if it's the big one, but anyway,
I imagine the big local race. You got to beat your past result and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be the hope, is to beat the past result. If I did it on my hardtail, I could for sure podium. I think, because I don't think a lot of people do hardtail.
Because there's four people that enter a 5-person podium.
Yeah, the last time I podiumed, there was a couple more people. I don't think in Bellingham, but no, I did some pre-riding, and it was super good. It's a trails I don't ride very often, though they're pretty rad, and so good times.
Nice. And Sheyn.
Oh, so this week I recently had a YouTuber move out to my town, Mr. Horns High Mountain Biking. He moved from Oklahoma, I think, out to Grand Junction.
Is that a long way?
I don't know. Oklahoma has crap riding.
Long way. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't like questioning if it was long way. I was like, how far is that? I have no concept.
Honestly, I don't know very much either, but as far as riding goes, it's completely different. So I got to show him around some of my local trails, and he's a clipped in style kind of guy.
What a weirdo.
I know. Out here, he went to flats. He's just like, oh, this technical stuff, I can't. He could not commit, or couldn't. Oh man, he's probably going to hear this. Yeah. but he's like, he totally threw on the flats to ride out in Grand Junction just to like help with the commitment, and maybe they'll transition to something later on. But no, it's cool to have another YouTuber out here and just some bros. I always love that.
This was actually a question that came up in the comments, but I was almost not going to put it in. But what's happened to RC?
I have no idea. He's my twin.
Josh, they literally have the nickname the Twins, Josh.
Really?
Like, they're known as locally.
Wow.
He actually he got a new job.
What?
He got a new job, and I think he's working like nights now. So instead of having the regular normal schedule, he's just turned into a zombie, and we don't see him anymore. So he's retired.
No.
Kind of like me.
Is he done making YouTube videos?
No, I don't think so. I need to check up on him. I'm gonna text him right now.
Well, you'll find out the response of that text message at the end of this podcast. So please make sure you listen all the way through.
There we go.
Yeah, so I got another YouTuber, and then this morning I'm on vacation. I didn't go skipping out on work this morning. Who knew in Colorado if I was just to drive an hour and a half east, I could actually find some dirt and trees, which I have no idea how to even ride in. I got to ride. I think it's called Hero Dirt.
Whoa! Don't be throwing words like that around in Colorado. Whoa!
And the other thing, you're like, did you say an hour east?
Yeah.
You didn't realize an hour away from you was like actual trails with trees and dirt?
Okay, actual. I would still say chunky desertness is actual.
What'd you say, Paul?
Joey at the wing.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't even get started. We all know the Joey of the week is Paul. Anyway, keep going, Sheyn.
Well, I mean, I always say
that, what's the area? What's the area called that you
Glenwood Springs.
Oh, that sounds like dirt.
That sounds like a retirement community.
Dirt and trees. It's actually the town that you get off before you go up to Aspen to go skiing. Yeah.
Oh,
so there's definitely dirt there. And I always say, it was like, I'm so used to chunk, I'm so used to gnar and drops and rock that if I was to ever ride with dirt and trees, I'd have no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
But I will say, despite not having like obstacles and rocks to jump over, I had a blast. Like just riding with a trail that's 3 feet wide, Hero Dirt. It was pretty butts.
All time. If you're going to talk about these words, all time.
Maybe I'll say all time. I wouldn't say it's better than my gnarly riding, but I will say it's right. It's different. It's right up there.
Yeah. Well, anything that you do that's out of your comfort zone or your go-to, right? Like did you have fun though? Being that it was so different?
Oh yeah. I mean, the trail was cut really nice into the mountain, so it wasn't like afraid that I was going to slip off the side or anything. And there were some nice doubles and triples, and I'm comfortable with that. So, you pump into it and land on the other side and then have one of those like, almost go off the mountain moments and regain your bearings. And I think I need to explore Colorado a little bit more.
I'll be honest. I'm looking at the map. It doesn't look that far away. Like, I know you said an hour, but I'm amazed this is a revelation to you.
And some people have to drive an hour to go ride, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been so spoiled having trails 5 minutes away from me.
Oh, wow. What about Snowmass? That seems to be getting a load of coverage, I've noticed.
Snowmass, I think they have snow right now, but they're a bike park.
Yeah,
I did get to hit them last year, but last year when I hit it, it was like all dusty and blown out, and there were some jumps on it that I kind of got to get used to. But yeah, there's some bike parts. I think if I start hitting them right now, as the snow is melting, as I get that loamy Hero Dirt, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
keep trying to act like you know what you're talking about, Sheyn. It's hilarious.
You sound like you're a tourist in Spain going through some sort of translation dictionary. Like, let me check. Loam.
Where's the Loam?
Loam? Is that how you say it?
Sheyn, have you been to a bike park before?
Yes, kind of. Yeah.
Because you made that video where it's like racing on a hardtail. Wasn't that in there?
Yeah.
My first downhill race. Yeah.
That's kind of a bike park. That's got like 2 runs on it.
That was the first video of yours I saw, and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
It was my like piece of crap $400 hardtail that was falling apart at that race.
So wait. So have you ridden a bike park?
So I got to ride, I think, 2 runs at Snowmass, which is a bike park.
Yeah.
Because everything else is kind of closed down. But it was super dusty and blown out. And so, I mean, you could consider it a bike park, but like when you watch your Whistler videos or even just regular bike park videos, my experience was nothing compared to what those show. I'm going to need to change that.
You sure? Like, I say this every week. Just get on a plane. Just give the crashing mom.
I can get in a car and go 2 hours to Snowmass.
And Paul, just remember, the rest of us, unlike you, have actual responsibilities and things we have to do.
I was thinking about that just as I was getting ready for this, because I had to go to the gym about an hour and a half ago, and I came home to eat.
Oh, had to go to the gym? Like your paycheck depended on it? Oh, you have a family that you have to feed by going to the gym? Sorry, keep going.
I don't have everything but the family. And then I was like making my dinner.
Except the surprise daughter.
And the thought crossed my mind. I was like, I hope these guys know how like up against I am to make this time. And then I just stopped and went, what are you doing? They have so many responsibilities. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that. That's the worst thing that you can do.
And yet you found a way to say it anyway. Proud of you, Paul.
You brought it out. You brought it out of me. You brought it out of me, didn't you?
Paul, I think we need to go down and visit Sheyn together and go to Snowmass. Take him to the bike park.
And we could do the podcast in person. That's the dream.
We could all like hover around Shane's snowball mic. We can steal his food away from him so he stops making noise. It'll be great.
The crashing mum could get us snacks.
Yeah.
Snacks. Oh. I kid you not. Whenever I'm out on a ride, I'm like pulling out of my pack with my friends. Would you like an Uncrustables or some fruit snacks? Yeah. Would you like a Capri Sun?
For all that Sheyn puts her through, we need to get our own snacks and give that woman a break. That's what I think.
Okay, so this week I did some serious mountain biking because in 2 weeks' time, as you know, I have some very serious mountain biking to do.
Oh, so you did some enduro riding?
No, I did
downhill riding.
I did some real mountain biking.
Did you shave your legs for it?
Along the country. No, I'm kind of a couple weeks out. I need to redo them. I've been getting lots of compliments about it though. Actually,
I'm sorry. We can't cross over what you just said. In hopes to sound cooler and avoid saying cross country, Paul said a long country riding.
Long country.
Cross country. No, this is okay. So yesterday I did. I think all in all, it was encroaching on about 60 kilometers of mountain biking, which is a long way.
I mean,
that is a long way.
I mean, how much elevation?
Conversion?
How much elevation?
Trails.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
1,400 meters, I think, of climbing.
That's not bad.
It's very good.
Well,
I'll have you know, that's a lot. And we were riding pretty technical trails on the downcountry machine, so it was harder because I'm a real mountain biker. So yeah, it was fun.
Keep telling yourself that, Paul. Sorry.
That is the last day of the BC bike race. So after seven and a bit, because there's the prologue, which we will be getting to momentarily. It's the last day, and we were just thinking the whole time, like, wow, this is really hard. Wow, this is going to be after a week of mountain biking. Whoa, and it kind of really hit home how hard the BC bike race is going to be. But I actually felt okay today. I should have been wiped, but I wasn't. I was fine. I guess that's lucky.
Can I late enter the BC bike race?
There is no way you would be able to do it. Josh, normally I'm encouraging and be like, yeah, Josh, go and do a cross country race. And then you're like, could I do the BC bike race? It's like, no, no, you couldn't.
No, stop. No, I literally couldn't. It starts on a Thursday. That's odd timing.
Well, it's 7 days, but there's the plus 1 day where they're calling day 0, which is the prologue, which is the seeding day.
Holy cow, the amount of money for riding cross-country trails. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime entry fee, let alone the race.
But dude, it is one of those bucket list kind of things because
I agree.
Is taken care of. There's so much logistics that goes into it.
Damn. Is there a time limit on these stages?
There's gotta be.
No, because this lady, she was like, I want to do this, and she moved to Seattle with her husband so she could get used to riding on single track kind of things. But she wasn't a serious athlete. She just wanted to do it, and she took about 10 hours every day to complete it. And there's a great documentary, actually. I think it's called 10, and it follows kind of a few people, and she's one of them. And on the Squamish day, everything is shut down apart from the finish line, and you just see her roll in. There's no one there apart from the timing chip. It was crazy.
So it sounds like you could do it, Josh.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
so.
down.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think it would open your eyes to cycling as a whole, I think.
I did peep your last XC race video that you posted. And some of those trails were actually some mountain biking.
Dude,
I would say.
Is like there were like the last two, Rupert and Two Stroke. Like they are black trails. I mean, I've ridden them so many times, it's like I don't even have to think about it, right?
You're like yelling at the dude, go left, roller, it rolls.
Yeah, that's the one I pre-rode, so I knew that exact line, and I could see him starting to veer off. I mean, it was such a conga line at the beginning. It was kind of hilarious, actually, that race, but I've already talked about it. Now, let's just jump. Can we jump straight into our favorite segment? Sheyn, hit him with the intro.
Is it you? Is it me? It's the joke of the week.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. That was so good.
To it every week. Okay, so I'm going to nominate myself.
Wait. You have to ask the starter questions. Who, what, when? Aaron Gwynn?
I'm so sorry. I'm just so excited to tell you this story.
Did Aaron Gwynn get it this week?
Well, Aaron, I checked. I did some research. Journalists that we are.
Paul's like trying to find anybody that's not him to get Joey of the Week. Like just desperately searching.
No, what we have to do is we have to find how can we get Aaron Gwynn into this segment every week. Like, has he done anything? And I think he has, because he's really been milking this crash that he had at Fort William, and he's posted about it twice on his Instagram main feed. And I was like, pretty Joey move for a professional mountain biker. So he can't get away with it. He's still in. Although I don't think he's done anything else. But wait, why am I asking you two? You would know what he's. You barely know who he is.
Aaron Swin, is that right?
Aaron. Okay,
right. So I've got nothing, Paul, and I don't think Sheyn has anything this week.
Not me either.
Neither of you have been doing anything.
We've been riding well.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
And actually like doing the right things and committing to things.
Well, probably why you have a stable family. And probably why I'm here crying myself to sleep every night.
Okay.
You know, I was browsing the Instas today on a tip that someone gave me.
A tippy? So good.
Yeah, if you have not seen Brett Tippy's Instagram with
it's not on. No, don't give him the credit.
It was
Will did Green? Someone else?
Yeah, Will Greenfield.
It was Will Greenfield.
Okay, Will Greenfield 1 at Will Greenfield 1. Totally. Camera. You know what, Paul? The way that you did the
made it more Joey, right?
Yes,
it was. But
and
that
it was perfect for that song. Guys, we can't monetize this anymore.
But guys, that happened 5 weeks ago. That can't be my Joey.
That crash you can ride this crash out for as long as you want, man.
Jeez. Well, we can talk about that then, because do you know what's been really annoying?
The fact that your camera is blurry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. There you go. Okay, I had to take over. It was really annoying is Tippy got that from some sort of Portuguese enduro Instagram page, but I was a bit miffed he didn't give any credit, and he should know better.
I thought he did initially.
Oh
no, he didn't give credit initially. He just put up like, haha, this is funny, and I was like, what? You don't do that. And then the annoying thing about that is the amount of messages that I got of people going, oh, Brett Tippy's ripping off your crash, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, God. Like, there's bigger things. But I was
when I just looked it up, he'd credited both Will and you. So
yeah, he did go and change it to his credit. But it was Will Greenfield. So I posted the actual crash. Like, now it could be finally released, and I don't have to weirdly explain why I'm riding so bad in any of my videos. I'm like, guys, like, it really was that bad that I am in pain every time you see this video.
Well, sorry, keep going.
No, like, there's no weird, Paul's doing an excuse. That is fact. Like I was in a lot of pain.
Well,
Josh, you were.
If I
the finger.
I mean, if I swing a baseball bat on my own kneecap and I'm like, guys, it was a bad hit. You'd say, yeah, but you kind of caused it, right?
Oh, well, yeah, this is weird. We're going to move on.
Joey of the week. This is why Paul's the Joey of the week. We have talked about this in our practice show that nobody has seen, so we got to bring it up again.
What practice show? We didn't
we do a practice?
We didn't practice this.
I thought we didn't release our first show.
Oh, the pilot. Yeah. I finished and went, we're not putting that out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Can I double dip? Can I double dip as Joey of the week then?
Well, sure, but you do have to explain that crash because we haven't explained it yet. So people are still like,
oh, okay.
They just heard the audio.
We're doing this trail that Eric built, and then I was actually like on a pretty big high because I started to ride well, and I was like, I'll do anything, whatever. And then my housemate Brig did it, and I was like, well, it must be fine. And I kind of stood there, like lined it up, wanted to make absolute sure. And then I go over this first big route, and then I grabbed too much front brake. That's what I did wrong. And then my front wheel skidded, so I took a leg off. Josh, why are you pulling this? This is just what happened. And then I threw a leg off to stop myself because Brig actually, it was off camera, but Brig did that just before he rode it down it. Like the same thing happened to him. But when I threw my leg off, the back wheel was coming over the route, and I'm gone out the front door. And then that was it. It was too late. I was dead. But yeah, that's what happened because I skidded and it went wrong. And I was like, oh no, stop. And then that's what happened. Sheyn, lead into the flats versus clips.
Oh, we're not normally going to do a gear talk or clickbait, but I think we've given up. We need a segment.
We need something in the title.
We need a segment. I think we should talk about flats versus clips.
Well, we may as well just do that. Because when we talked about weight, have you noticed the weight one is been our most popular podcast?
Yeah, it has been.
So clearly, that's how we're going to grow.
Coming up next week, 29er versus 27.5.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's save that for when things are really bad.
When we're really desperate for views. Yeah, the weight thing did well because everyone's like, yeah, it's June. I thought this weight was going to be gone. Maybe these guys will help me. Nah, I think we just made it worse.
People were just commenting about their own opinions, though. They weren't actually like listening. I think that's what happens when you talk about weight stuff. Is that it's very personal, and everyone will just say their own opinion, which is what we
crazy diets.
Yeah,
and we get to try all these crazy diets.
Yeah,
I don't know. So for me, flats versus clips. I saw this really cool YouTube video that said throw away your flats and try clips.
I saw that one. Yeah,
so I did that, and then $200 later, I saw another video by the same person. Said throw away your clips and try flats. So
I saw that one too. Yeah, it was a good one.
Fortunately, like most people out there, I just have so much money that I can throw in the garbage. My garbage is full of pedals, and
I just started throwing money away. I just got tired of it.
That would be a great kind of reaction video. Is that you watch a video and someone's like, oh yeah, try this, it's better, and then you're like, oh shit, throw it away.
Since we're YouTubers, we just have so much cash lying around.
Yeah. I posted a picture today actually of just my new shoes, and it's been like the most commented thing I've had in ages of people like asking me about cleat position and what shoes I've got and everything. I could post 100 pictures about my bike, but for some reason the only thing people care about is pedals. You should have taken one cleat and like forced it all the way to the front and left the other cleat all the way in the middle, and then the internet would have exploded on you. I'm just trying a new thing this week. I've seen them have 29 in front and 27.5 rear bikes. Why shouldn't we have our pedals in the back and front? That would be funny. I don't know. I'm personally a flats guy. I like the flats, but for me, my flats are, I would say they're different than most flats. I ride a flat that's like super long. I'm just gonna throw out the brand. Pedaling Innovations, Catalyst pedals. Everyone, they're kind of controversial because they force you to ride more midfoot position, and it gives you a lot more stability. And I like that about them, and which I don't think most flats give you.
They're very one of a kind. Like no other flat pedal is designed as big or uniquely as that one.
Yeah. And I think the whole deal is you don't do squats on the balls of your feet. You do squats with your feet flat on the ground. So you're stronger that way. I will say, though, it has kind of made me think I would ride clipless if I could get that cleat all the way in the middle of the shoe.
Like, we pretty much can. You can get it pretty far. I have mine all the way to the back.
See, I have.
Like, here's the thing. Also, this guy, like, he's pretty, like, he's somewhat controversial. Like, pretty much every like gym strength person, right? And that whole thing, like, oh well, you don't do squats when on the blah 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 of your feet, but you're also not holding onto a bar in front of you. And like your weight isn't 100% on your feet. It's like it's balanced. They're not like it's just saying something that will try and sell the pedals.
I think he's making the point that you're the most stable when you're supporting your whole foot.
Yeah, probably. But I think I don't know what Point One Athletic on Instagram, who's Chris Murray. He's one of the coaches that's making a lot of like benefits to a lot of the mountain bike races. Like he will, like the people that he's working with are on the up and improving results. And he has talked about that, like having it further back, but he's never talked about the pedals. So, but honestly, it's just preference at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. But if I could hack my shoes to like get the cleats all the way in the middle, I totally would ride clipless.
Some people do that.
Yeah, like
I've heard of it.
When I ride clipless, my cleats are all the way as far back as they can go, and I've never felt like it's too far. Like so, like I hear you. Like if one came out that set it back further, I don't think people would complain. Yeah,
it's just like it really is just personal preference and just like it's whatever. I think there's some people that are just so against clips, and like for example the crash where people are like, oh, you crashed because you're in clips. It's like, well, no, that's not at all what happened. Like here, like the goal of mountain biking is to have your feet on the pedals, right?
Yeah, and I think people who say that, like I would say, like, have you ridden in clips and crashed in clips before? Because I have in like crazy moments and had no issues unclipping. Like, and this is what I feel like. Correct. You guys might agree or disagree. I feel like riding clips or clipless is like I don't think it's a huge minority, but I think it's kind of like a siloed kind of like riding style that most people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, that's so bad. XYZ. Like I know all the pro downhill racers ride clipless. I know a lot of the EWS guys do as well. Like, but I feel like for the average Joe rider, it's getting more and more rare. What do you guys think?
No, I think there's just, I'm pretty sure there was a pink bike poll that was like 75% of people riding flat pedals.
Yeah.
But then there was also another poll that said like that a crazy amount, I suppose like 30% of people riding street shoes. So it's like, okay, maybe they're just not, that, I don't know, that was because why wouldn't you have a shoe like a 510 or a whatever, like a sticky sole? Like it would be better. So
yeah, well, that's something to realize too, is for first getting into mountain biking before you buy mountain bike shoes. And of course you'll be on flats. Like I didn't think about that too.
Yeah. I think for us out here, it's probably about 50-50, but the 50% that are on flats are most of them that are on flats because of the crazy technicality of the trails. And they just don't want to commit to being fully clipped in.
Yeah. But then it's like, if you get like Ben Reed, who is this, is a very good technical mountain biker, like probably one of the best, but he was never fast, but he was amazing to watch. He'd always say like, you can get your foot out and in so quick nowadays with the systems that they've got. It's like, there's hardly any difference. And I prefer because I've been riding in them for like so long. Like I just know that my feet are going to be in the same position every time I put my foot in the pedal. I know that my foot's not going to bounce out because I haven't been riding flats for so long that's my biggest problem, is that I won't put them in the same position. It feels weird. And then I do just like get jittery, like way more than I used to, because I used to exclusively ride in flats. But now I guess that my technique has changed or whatever.
But if someone was just getting into mountain biking, well, I mean, what would you recommend?
Oh, yeah. Go flats for ages. Like, there's got to be a reason. Do you know what I mean?
And then graduate to clipless.
Or just try. Yeah. I think it's just got to, there's got to be a reason for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I went to Clipless because I got so many shinners, and it was obviously because of bad foot position and bad riding like position as well. But that pushed me to Clipless, and the thing that kind of pushed me back, minus all the people who are like, "Don't do that," in my enduro race, like because I was unclipping, because I was falling or unconfident, because it was techie trails, and I just wasn't as skilled of a rider. Clipping back in was so difficult that I felt like it was losing me time and confidence and all these things. It was a mind game, really. Whereas I feel like flat pedals, yeah, sometimes my foot's not perfectly in the right position, and that can be a pain in the butt, but I can keep riding down the trail and be fine.
I think it's a practice thing there as well. Like the more you do something, like literally anything in the world, the more you do it, the more used to it you'll be. And like with the crank brothers that I use, like the cleat will rotate in the middle, and I know the exact action, and I just know that it's going to get in. Yeah. I think that's part of it. Like when you crash and or like, oh, I can't, like I had that when I first began, right? But then I just rode it so much that I learned how to do it. And now I don't. Now it's like I don't even think about it.
We should get a poll going and see how many of our listeners ride flats versus clipless. I would think most of them ride flats.
Yeah, everyone's going to ride flats, and they're going to be like, "Why would you ride in clips?"
Yes.
Yeah. Put the poll right here.
Oh, no, we'll just do it in the comments. We'll just do it in the comments.
Or in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's on the YouTube video, because there's no comments on the Spotify or the iTunes. Please go and give 5-star ratings and tell your friends. I think, and there is another part of it, whereas that some people are like, oh, there's no way I can do that. So then they tell other people like, oh, you shouldn't do it because I shouldn't do it. I think it's almost the same with Brian and the fact that he doesn't drink and he's really open about it. Yeah, I'm going to build a huge connection between the two, is because they're like, oh, you don't drink, but I do, and all my friends drink. Like, that's different. Like, you should do the same as us, which is very much a human thing, I think. What do you guys think?
Well, he also rides clips, so everything he says, I don't really care about. So, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't think he shaves his legs, though, so he's good in my book.
No, one day he will.
Nah, he'll never get that far off the path. Don't worry, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I will say, though, no matter what kind of clipless shoe it is, I don't enjoy hiking in it. And if you're not hiking, you're not biking. Well, I guess in the desert.
That's the worst bit. Yeah. But again, like my shoes, I walk around all the time in them. I mean, they're not like they're not savagely stiff like a lot of the race ones.
Yeah, I'll end this conversation by saying when I rode clipless for 9 months to a year, when I went back to flats, I haven't gotten really a shinner since like I used to. And I haven't thought to myself, I'm missing anything on flat pedals. Like I thought when I switched back, like, I'll give it a couple months. I'll go back to clipless. But honestly, even on my hardtail, I want clips on my hardtail. Anyway, I don't feel like I'm missing out for 95% of my riding on flats. And for that reason, I think I'm just going to stick with them.
Yeah.
I feel like I have more fun on flats.
I feel like I have more control on clips because my foot goes back in exactly the same position. That's like when me and Josh went dirt jumping in the winter. I just struggled so much because I just couldn't get my foot in the comfortable position, and it would feel weird. And that's someone actually recommended to me. But back when I did that Diary of a Desk Jockey thing, someone actually suggested on one of the first videos, they're like, oh, it looks like you have trouble getting your foot in the right position. Have you thought about having clipless? And I was like, wow, that's actually like an educated like reason and a thought provoker. Like, oh, maybe this would be better for you. So, yeah.
Well, you can ride a clipless while dirt jumping. Like, I think Jeff Kendallweed does that.
No. Does he?
I think so.
He would never, like, I saw him go to this dirt jump jam at the weekend, and there is no way he would be seen on clips.
If you look at his shoes, I think he was wearing his clipless shoes. I could be wrong.
No way. Well, yeah. We'll find out. If anyone knows, leave it in the comments below.
I should I'll Instagram Jeff and just see if I was right, and then I'll leave in a comment below. People would go crazy if he did.
There is no way. So there was actually in the UK there was this guy that like he was this is years ago. Like, let's go back just shy of 20 years. His name was like Andy something or other, and he would dirt jump in clips, and he would do no footers, and he was like in all the magazines and everything because everyone's like, "Whoa, no way! This guy jumps in clips." But I also have a story about this. I can do another name drop. When I did my season,
I was like, I haven't done enough name drops. I got another one. Here we go.
Another one. When I was doing my season Whistler, I rode with my buddy that worked at 510, and then we joined up with Darren Bearcloth. Do you guys know where we at with Darren Bearcloth on the spectrum?
I've heard the name.
That's what I have. Okay,
he's like a rampage guy. So he was one of the first people to do like a 360 drop on a downhill bike. He was like that kind of, yeah. And he had some clips on, and then out of all the laps that we were doing, we ended up doing Crank It Up. And I said to Luke, my buddy, like, "Oh, do you reckon you could no footer every jump?" And then Darren's like, from afar, not even in the conversation, just goes, "Yep, I can do that." And I was like, "But you're wearing clips." He's like, "Yep, I'll do it." And then every single jump, bump, 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 unclip, a no footer, bump, bump. It was
both feet.
Both feet. Oh yeah, both feet, just like out.
So, like, is he clipping in right as he's landing?
I don't know. I wasn't that wasn't that close to him.
There's people that are doing this. Yeah.
No, but I mean, if I could know footer in the first place, I don't think it would be that like ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
It's just like unclipping. Like, I would think you would have to unclip before you jump, or just know exactly how to pull your bike to not mess you up in the air. Like, pull your feet off.
Yeah, but the Crank Brothers ones, like, I can't even remember what he had, but like they just pop off so easily. Like it's not a big thing.
Is this sponsored by Crank Brothers? And is this a good or bad thing about Crank Brothers? These clipless pedals feel like they're not even clipped in.
The best clipless on the market, Phantoms. They're called
that is why I switched to them after the Shimano. I tried Shimano for a bit. I didn't get on with them. And then someone was like, "Oh, you should try these because they're kind of quite like flat pedals." And there you were.
Well, we've gone full gear talk. There's no doubt about it. We've entered into the realm. Should we never go back again?
That wasn't so bad.
Are these Crank Brothers?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're the old ones. They're like.
See, I will say I do prefer them over the Shimano.
The newer ones of those are actually a bit better, I think. But,
I've only used Shimano. I've never had a problem with them. So.
Yeah.
Well, what flat are you riding right now?
People like it. People like the Shimanos because it's so positive when you clip in, right? Yeah. It's like an actual click.
Unlike their shifting.
The shifting is like ka-tunk, like positive, isn't it? I haven't used Shimano for ages.
Gear talk.
Look at you, this is you guys are stopping it. I was like the one at the beginning that was like, no way, we shouldn't do gear talk. Anyway, so let's wrap it up. So we asked last week for people to come up with a better sign off for us, and the youngster 1MTB came up with one.
Have you seen his videos?
No.
I'm just gonna say, like, check out this kid.
Check him out.
Super young, and he's editing. He's doing his own stuff, and it's amazing. I wish I would have started at his age.
Yeah,
I will.
Anyway,
I will type this thing in right now and get.
Maybe you could be his agent.
No.
All right, so he wrote our sign off for the week, which I thought was very good.
He did. So that's it, everyone. Oh. That's it, everyone. Sheyn is off to go and eat some spaghetti. Paul is going to edit this podcast and speak in the third person. And Josh is going to go and do some Josh things.
Yep, that's about right.
So cheers, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's it.